Now let's talk about the correct ways to hang things on drywall and choosing the right anchors for the job. After that, I got a tip about choosing between a drill or an impact driver on your next project. All right, in today's pro tip, we're gonna talk about hanging stuff on drywall with hollow wall anchors. Now, they make a ton of different types, so when you go to the store, it can be a little overwhelming going, what do I use? So we're gonna start with the lightest duty one. And these are these little plugs right here. Let me open them up and show you how these things work. You might have seen these little things right here. They come in a lot of kits and you're trying to hang stuff on. Now these typically have the most of a 20-pound limit. Let me show you how to put these things in. All right, after you've pushed that in right there, take the little screw, and now we're gonna go ahead and put that in there. And that's gonna hold that in there. Pretty light duty, right? The next one is probably my most common one and the one that I lean on the most because they're the easiest to put in. And these are these ones you don't have to drill. These are this great screw style hollow wall anchor. Now this will hold 75 pounds. Now you don't want to hang your TV or anything with it, but they will work for that. All right, now let's get the screw in that. And there you go. Now there's one more new style out there, and it's kind of a different version. They used to have just the old kind of flap legs, and these are the new ones. These say they're rated to 106 pounds. I don't believe it, but let's see how it does. We're gonna first start with a 1/2-inch hole. And that's why one of the reasons I don't like these as much, because they leave a pretty good mark on the drywall. All right, our next step is to take this right here, and it's got a little hook for your finger. You're gonna take this and push that in, and then push it through the hole. All right, so once we've got that pulled tight, this snaps off, just like that. And then we're gonna put the screw in. Now you've got that. Let me spin this around and show you what the backside looked like so you can get the sneak peek of what you see from the inside. Now you can see right here the holding power that we have because of the surface area, and each one of these is a little bit different. You can see how the tiny one, our first one, has just a little bit. Our medium one has a lot more surface area, and this one is grabbing so much more drywall. Consider this on your next project to make sure you have the right weight with the right anchor, so that way when you put it on the wall, it stays there. Now today's pro tip, we're gonna talk about drill versus driver. Which is the best to use for your project? Now, so many people have their cordless drill out there, and this can do many things. And of course, we've got our just cordless impact that is great for doing screws, bolts, legs, things like that. But really, this is almost a more universal tool. Let me show you why. Now, the first thing with one of these drills is you've got a couple different things on it depending on the options of what you've got. This one has our 2 speeds on top. One is for drilling, one's for more setting screws, things like that. And then at the top, I've got these different settings. This screw right here, which is the middle one, is for driving screws. I have a drilling one and a hammer drill. Now, the thing that I like with using a drill for doing screws is I have a clutch that I can actually set on this so I don't round heads off. That is one of the problems with the impacts here, is that this is gonna go until I let off the trigger. Now with this, I can set it on screw and deal with my clutches. Now the secret with the clutch on this is gonna keep you from rounding off Phillips heads, which I like. So the small, like the little tiny machine screws and stuff you're doing, you can be gentle with it. And so when I start with this with the clutch setting, that's all it'll go. So then I can go in here and adjust that clutch setting back, and it's only letting me drive it that far. That's the handy part of this. Now, if I go to the impact, let me show you kind of the weakness of this. If I go into here with this, I could have stripped that out. That would have been really ugly, and I had to cut the screw off or pull it out by hand. All right, guys, 2 tools that'll do a lot of the same job, but this every single time is gonna be the most universal one. So if you gotta get one, That's the trick.